So when you're thinking about your portfolio, we obviously want to see work that you've developed as part of your courses, whether that's at school or college. But if you wanted to include something from outside of that, that might be your own personal interests, it might be hobbies that you have which you think might be relevant, it might be artwork you've developed or photography or other things that you're interested, which are still relevant to design, especially things like sketchbooks. We love to see how you develop and develop your ideas, if you like. Then that's certainly stuff we'd like to see you include as well.
You want to kind of think of it as telling us a story. So think about a book that you might have read and kind of how that builds the story and the narrative of your idea. So starting out with kind of initial ideas of why you started the project you did, through research, what's the existing products that exist, then through to your initial ideas, developing those into a final design and then presenting that through. So we typically like to see an example of a full project going through, so you give us all of those processes within there.
The sorts of things we want to see are creativity, enthusiasm in your work, a range of skills, things like sketch work, maybe some photography, design projects that you may have studied at school, but also a sort of a breadth of things that you may not have actually been asked to do. So why are you creative? Demonstrate the sorts of things that would show your creativity in different facets of your world. If you can take some good photographs, if you can put it with some design work, again alongside the sort of developmental process of that piece, we're more than happy to review large format pictures as well. Some of the portfolios are massive, some of the portfolios are small and digital, but that's again a choice for you and how you want to present your work to us.
To prepare my portfolio, I used my work from my GCSE and A-level coursework from my product design course that I was studying, and I made sure I included a variety of work throughout my design process. So I included elements of research, sketch work, some of my CAD modelling, photos of modelling and testing that I had done within the project to really showcase all of the skills I've learned and to show the start and end process of my projects.
My portfolio ranged from branding, graphic design, to photography, to actual product process. So I got advice from different courses as well. I tried to bring in different skill sets that I had. So even like after talking to people from NTU and connecting with people on LinkedIn, I took their keywords, that was making sure that the process is highlighted throughout my portfolio and that I have a good concept and idea from the beginning of what I'm trying to make.
We're also, we should stress, not trying to trick anybody, catch anybody out with any trick questions. We really just want to know about you, about your creative work, about your ambitions for the future and what you want to do.
So you'll get to have a look around the facilities, so we'll show you around the studios, the workshops, and you'll get a tour of all of that while you're here on the day, so an opportunity to ask any questions about that as well. And you'll really get to kind of get a feel for the space while you're here on the day.
We do offer an opportunity to do online interviews. Obviously we're all set up on Microsoft Teams or Zoom, whatever suits you best. Again, for that we would need a digital portfolio, so we'd like you to forward that in advance of the interview so that we can have a look through, ask you any questions and then hopefully answer any of your questions.
To prepare for my interview, I made sure that I had looked at previous questions which may be asked before in interviews, as well as then looking through my portfolio and making sure that I can sort of tell a story and explain the reasoning behind my choices. My interview was held online, so I made sure that I could clearly communicate that through a screen, as well as displaying my portfolio digitally to ensure that it was clearly understood throughout the process.
There will be other students there that are on their own, and that's okay, don't worry about it. Everybody's included and they feel welcome. You'll all be sat together sort of in the waiting room for your interview, and that's a really good chance to sort of speak to the student ambassadors about the uni, because they'll tell you things that the lecturers won't. They'll tell you the honest opinion of what it's like to be a student at this university.
Going into the interview room, looking around at other interviewees, they had quite a lot of work compared to me, so that made me a little bit nervous, but the second I sat down with my interviewee, it was easy. I wasn't worried about the amount of work or the quality of work I had, because everyone's different and everyone comes from different backgrounds. And having come from one that's not that design focused, they made me feel really at ease with the whole process.
Sometimes it can feel a bit weird when they're just going off your grades for subjects that maybe aren't relevant to the degree that you're wanting to do. And it was an opportunity to really show what I was capable of, and an opportunity to sell myself as a person, my personality, my work, and what I'm actually capable of achieving, not just a number on a form somewhere.
When I wanted some advice on how to put my portfolio together, I think the key places that I looked for was Behance, because they have a lot of examples of work. LinkedIn, I try to connect with a lot of people from NTU, and talking to my friends who were in the similar courses already.
It's also really important to speak to sort of your design teachers if you're doing design, and if you're not, try and find a teacher sort of in the art or design in your school to talk to, because they'll have some good pointers about what parts of your work are good to include and what maybe you shouldn't. So just try and talk to as many people as possible